Hi, welcome to Punchline Talks. Today we're talking apprenticeships. I'm joined by Ollie Pritchard, who's from Abbeydale, and he works for Barnwood Construction Limited. Hi, Ollie.
Hiya, you okay?
Yeah, good. Thanks very much. Thanks for joining us today. So, what do you do at Barnwood, and what is Barnwood?
Barnwood's just a construction firm like woodwork. I work in the joinery shop currently, so I'm the workshop foreman. I started here when I was 16 as an apprentice. Came through, learnt basic hand skills at college, and then started we're basically furniture makers in the workshop in terms of making counters for banks and furniture for many other clients around the country. And yeah, I'm in charge of running who does what now in terms of the workshop and dishing out the works. But that's where I've come from the age of 16.
And what school did you go to, mate?
I went to Heron for primary school in Abbeydale, and then moved on to Churchdown Secondary School. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
What type of grades did you get at school, and what do you need to become a joiner at Barnwood?
Well, I know I got A's, B's, C's. I was all right academically.
Maths English? Was that maths English or?
Yeah, maths and English, both B's, I believe. Science B's, and then obviously things that I was interested in, which I took at GCSE level, like woodworking, art, and history. I got A's in. But yeah, going forward in terms of apprentices and stuff like that, I know now that they need to get A's and B's to get onto the course, and that's what we're looking for to bring forward. You've got to know what you're doing. You've got to obviously be aware of your surroundings as well. So it's not all about being academic, but it's also about being aware of what you're doing with your hands and everything. So
what do you like about the job, Ollie? When you were a young kid, just came out and you were 16-year-old apprentice, did you find it hard to settle in with a whole bunch and why didn't you go to uni? Why Barnwood, and why taking the apprenticeship?
I'd always from a young age, like even being with like my granddad in the garage and stuff, just hitting nails into a piece of timber with a hammer and stuff like that. I've always wanted to do stuff with my hands. Like I've always enjoyed making things, if it was Lego or anything like that growing up. And yeah, I basically just didn't go to uni because, not that I didn't want to carry on with like academic work, but I just knew that I wanted to go into an environment where I was making things and learn how to use my hand skills for later in life. So like when I buy a house and everything like that, it's knowing how to hang a door or fit a bit of skirt in or anything like that. I always knew that I wanted to have that knowledge to take me forward. So yeah, that's why I basically came into this as young as I did, really.
And what are the older guys like when you first joined? Because it's quite daunting, I would imagine, as a 16-year-old and suddenly working with 40, 50-year-old blokes who are taking a mickey out.
Yeah.
What was that kind of like?
Yeah, it's just like it's good because I was working obviously with a lot of older men and everything like that, and you get banter, and if you do things wrong, you got to accept that they're gonna slate you for it, but you just got to take it on the chin and learn from it. Don't do it again. And obviously, but you've got to use their experience and learn from that yourself. So I try to take on anything that anybody. I worked with 5 or 6 different people through my apprenticeship, so it was nice to get knowledge of different people because everybody does things in different ways. So it's not just being regimented into the one way of doing things. It's the best way that suits you, and I feel like that's the one thing that Barnwood does allow you to do, is that you learn off multiple people.
Now you obviously travel around as well, because one minute you could be working in a shop fitting in a bank, and next minute you could be over on I suppose a construction site. Is that part of your job, or are you always?
Well, no. I've always been in the joinery shop. I have gone out on site in different occasions when they've needed a hand, like either lifting things into the building, where you've obviously got to keep within the weight limits of what you're lifting and things like that. But no, I haven't really done that much site work in terms of actually fitting the furniture of what we make in the workshop. I'm more of like a joiner in such that obviously I make the furniture and then it gets packaged up and sent to site and then fitted on site by the site boys. So yeah, no, I've always really just been local within the workshop, really.
Do you get a lot of job satisfaction seeing it all come together?
Yeah, I used to. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I love it. Obviously, now I'm not as much hands-on now because I'm in charge of other people. But seeing the boys make jobs from start to finish, it does give you job satisfaction. It's good when you know you've done a nice job and you know you've done something that's a bit bespoke. It's really good to see. Yeah.
And you also, it's not just guys, isn't it? You've got a few girls there as well, haven't you? It's a right old mix.
Yeah. We've got girls in our office environment. We've got girls that obviously have done contracts managing, and there's receptionist girls, and then there's girls that do the estimating and in the CAD department and things like that. So yeah, it's not just blokes. Obviously, it's a environment for both genders now.
No, fantastic. So I've got to ask you, mate, when you first started at Barnwood, what kind of salary were you on?
I believe I was on around 12k a year. Obviously, I was an apprentice. I was 16. I come out of school. I didn't know any differently.
Living at home, mum and dad as well?
Living at home with my mum and dad. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's you don't know any differently. So any money's money, basically, at the end of the day. It was just nice to have something behind you and earn some for yourself.
And go on, Ed, I've got to ask you nowadays, as a 25-year-old bloke, what are you on now?
Well, yeah, I recently had a pay rise, but yeah, over 30 now. So over 30 grand a year. I wouldn't like to say how much because I work overtime now, so it varies week on week. We get paid weekly still, but yeah, I could do 9.5 hours overtime, or I could do no overtime. So it just varies from week on week, really.
Well, I could tell you now, my daughter's a teacher. She's 23, and she went to uni. She's got a lot of debt, £40,000 debt. I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, and she's on around 28k. So all that stuff, and you've got a career ahead of you that you absolutely love, mate. You know, all I can say is congratulations. And if I was wearing a hard hat, I'd take it off to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you.
I know they dragged you in to talk to me, Ollie, so I really appreciate it. Thanks ever so much for your time.
No, that's all right. No problem. Thank you very much.
Thanks for talking the Punchline Talk. Cheerio. Bye.